There's a story buried beneath the glitz, a whisper behind the screen. And if you listen close, you might just hear it. Hello everyone, I'm Paranormal Ripples, aka Ray, and this is the Silver Screen Facade, where Hollywood shine hides behind something more sinister. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about a director who disappeared after claiming he filmed something out of this world. A psychic that issued a final warning, then vanished behind nothing, or vanished without a trace, as they say. And somewhere in the middle, an unsettling cover up that has never been solved. This is the Silver Screen Facade, Episode 7. A director vanished, a psychic warned us, and Hollywood covered it up. And welcome. So let's begin way back in 1984. Hello. Oh, sorry about that. So let's begin back in 1984 with Julian Kroll. You might not have heard of him because he wasn't an household name, but he was on his way to becoming one. So let's go back to 1984, as I said. He was wrapping up on a post production of his second film, The Arrow, a strange experimental horror film that he called it, that was shot on grainy 16mm film with eerie religious imagery, drain like like dreamlike pacing, I should say. I was writing my notes fast, sorry everyone. But it screened only twice, but then both times it ended in walkouts. One screening ended with a man fainting and claiming that something had followed him out of the theatre that night. 2 days after that very screening, though, however, Julian left a chilling voicemail to his producer, and he said, I filmed something I wasn't meant to. It's not a prop, but it's watching me. That was the last anyone ever heard of Julian Kroll, because police turned up to search his apartment and they found film reels arranged in a strange triangular pattern. 3 were burned, but 1 was missing. There was no sign of a struggle. All the locks on the doors had melted from inside. Yes, inside everyone. And to some, it looked like a mental breakdown, but to others, especially those in fringe film communities, this wasn't a disappearance, it was an erasure. So, what do you think happened to Julian Kroll? Do you think something more sinister happened to him, or do you think um he just simply lost his mind and went on a walk and never returned? Let me know in the comments. But then, this now onto the psychic that knew a little too much. Um, by the name of Veronica Vale. Yes, Veronica Vale. She was a 1970s television psychic, known for her very piercing eyes and calm demeanor. She was often dismissed as a novelty, but those who really listened to her knew that she had much more and began to notice something odd about the way she was conducting herself. She wasn't going to get us guessing the things that were going to happen. She was very accurate, extremely accurate. She predicted celebrity deaths, corporate scandals. She even predicted the 3 major Oscar winners in a row. But her last appearance that turned whispers into obsession was just something that couldn't be explained. And let's just see if I can get a picture of Veronica Vale for you. Uh, can't. Doesn't like Google wants us to. show any pictures of Veronica Vale or Miss Vale. Anyways, a year after the fateful disappearance of Julian Kroll in 1985, Veronica Vale went onto a pirate radio program called the Black Room Broadcast. Vale said this about Hollywood on that very broadcast. They're not making movies, they're casting spells. The camera doesn't just capture light anymore. So, that was the very last recording of her voice. And then a week later, her house was found broken into or open. Her television was on, playing static. All the tapes had been set fire to in a careful spiral. But the very thing that was really weird, on her wall above her fireplace, someone or something decided to draw a symbol in ash, a coiled spiral intersecting itself. She was never seen again, and to this day, no one knows what happened to Miss Fell. Does anyone in the chat comments know what could have happened to this psychic? And if you don't know what the thing that was drawn above her thingy, basically, this is similar to what would have been on. This right here is the spiral that was drawn in an ash above her fireplace. Why such a symbol, you may ask? That is the very question that still haunts the disappearance of Veronica Vale. No, why? So yeah, why was this spiral on above a fireplace? We never know. But basically, we want to know. I'm seeing if there's anything about. Just seeing if there's anything to do with demonology. Hang on, folks. Doesn't look like it. So if anyone knows about that spiral, let me know in the comments. Now, we will we move on from Julian Crow and Veronica Vale to Hollywood. But there's just there now we can talk about how Hollywood could be a ritual machine. There's a theory that's been found on forums like Reddit and beyond, and whispers among cult film fans. Hollywood isn't just about storytelling anymore; it's about rituals. It suggests that many of the films mimic ceremonies, magic, the intention set in the opening, focusing, sharpening your mind until the rising action, and stuff like that. Background designs are key feature of most famous films that contain recurring symbols. There's spirals, the all-seeing eye, inverted triangles. Some say that this just adds to the overall aesthetic of a film, but others believe that they're sigils. Some say that the film, if you've ever seen it, Eyes Wide Shut, was more a confession about Hollywood's darker side than fiction. If you don't know what Eyes Wide Shut is, I'd suggest you go and look at it. It's a 1999 film, produced and co-written by Stanley Kubrick, that stars Tom Cruise and at the time his wife Nicole Kidman. I'd have a look at it. Very, very poignant, like, film. But yes, go and have a look at it and let me know what you think, because they believe that us was a ritual of reflection. That certain roles serve as symbolic sacrifices for the actors that play them. Veronica Fell, the psychic that I just talked about, could she have been one of the only people that recognized the structure and realized it wasn't just a metaphor, and she wouldn't just think it's more of a function of how Hollywood was going and in what direction that they were going to be telling their stories from now on. Like, there was something poignant. Now I'm going to go back to Julian Crowe and that missing reel that we said. That I said to you that when they searched his apartment, the police, 3 of the reels were burnt, but 1 was missing. One reel of the film, reel 6, was never archived. This is the arrow. It was reportedly shot at a ruined church outside of Pasadena, Florida. Pasadena. I think that's Pasadena, California, I believe. Yes, Pasadena, California. The strange part, though, about that very church, it burnt down a year before the filming started on the actual film. Locals say that the area was cursed because it was linked to occult gatherings way back in the 1940s. The footage, if it still exists and is still out there, or in archive somewhere in a certain people's hands, it allegedly shows a tall, unmoving figure in the background of nearly every shot, not blinking, and it was never ever acknowledged by any of the cast or crew that day. But Julian Cole, cinematographer, later claimed that he never saw the figure during filming and it only appeared after development. But he never ever went on record again. He never ever went to speak on record again. But there was a brief fragment of that missing reel reportedly aired during a public access horror marathon back in 1997. Viewers reported, though, television screens flickering. One woman said that she saw her reflection move differently from her body. But in that station's archives that showed that very marathon are lost. And that night won't ever be shown again. What happened? It's very weird. So now, if you're like I said, if you're enjoying this, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share, comment, just turn the notification bell on, as I say here, and let's carry on. The symbol of which was found in Veronica Vale's home. Do you remember it, everyone? That coiled spiral. It was found and appeared in other places. It was found on the back of a stolen Oscar in 2002 that was recovered. Carved into the grip tape of a stuntman who died under mysterious circumstances. It was briefly visible in the Blu-ray menu of the Arrow's out-of-print release before it was pulled without explanation. Researchers have gone on record to say that it was the Eye of Return. Some say it was a mark for summoning. Others believe, though, it's a sigil meant to open a doorway into the unknown. It shows up across decades of work on unrelated projects, always tied to something wrong. It's never addressed, though, however. It's never explained. But it's there, always hiding in plain sight. Julian Crowe filmed it. Veronica Vale warned us of it. And now we're left with scraps. What is going on here, everyone? Would you like to know? So what's really going on here, as I just asked you? What's really going on here? I want to know what you guys think, and girls. Is this just a string of strange coincidences that can be written off and forgotten creations lost to time? Or are we really witnessing a pattern here? Rituals stitched onto the tape, secrets locked on in like through sound design, disappearances swept beneath the very rare carpets that our favourite celebrities walk. I don't claim to have the answers, though. I just want to give you the questions that will keep piling up. If you've made it this far, you're not just a viewer, I believe. You're a seeker of the very truth that we want to uncover. So, what is it that Hollywood would don't want ever want us to know about? Please like this video, share it with someone who knows how to look between every single frame of film. Leave a comment if you've ever seen a spiral, or you believe that there's rituals going on in our films that we've not seen yet. And whatever you do, please subscribe and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss an episode with me. Keep your eyes open because the next time you press play, it might already be too late to stop what's been summoned. Take care, everyone. I've been Paranormal Ripples, aka Ray, and bye bye, everyone.